Hello, Kenneth Hollins here with HollinsMusic.com and MyKeyboardConnection.com. Thank you so much for taking a few moments and viewing this video. Now, what I have for you today is something that I believe is very helpful to be able to do as an organist. And it comes in handy when you are in situations where you possibly may be the only person that's playing. To give you an example, you could possibly be at a rehearsal with a choir or a small vocal ensemble or something like that, and you're the only person playing. You're the only one on the organ. Maybe the drummer's not there, or the entire band is not there, and you're just on the organ, and you're practicing or rehearsing with the choir, with the ensemble, a song that's very rhythmically driven. In other words, it has drums in it, it has bass in it, it has lead guitar, it has piano in it, it may even have a drum loop in it. And so it's a high intensity song. It's a song with a lot of rhythm in it. And so what you want to do is you want to convey that same feeling, that same groove, the same vibe that the band gets, but it's only you on the organ. So what I want to do right now is show you different things that you possibly or potentially could do to actually create the feel of a band, even though you're playing by yourself. Okay? Now, so I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm going to use the song Great Name by Todd Dulaney. Great Name by Todd Dulaney. And I'm going to play the song, and I'm going to try to give you the feeling of a band. And then we're going to go back, and then I'm going to break it down for you and show you how I actually did it. Okay? Hope you enjoy this. Here we go. Great Name by Todd Dulaney. So that was the song Great Name by Todd Dulaney. So what I tried to do is to give you the feeling or the impression of a band, you know. So that was just me playing by myself. So just imagine, you know, if a choir was singing or if an ensemble was singing, that would be the feel that they would have behind them. And sometimes you need to be able to do that just based on, you know, what situation that you're playing in, okay? So now let me break down for you some of the things that I actually did, okay? So now the point really is not necessarily the song per se, but just the different principles that I'm using, different techniques, should I say, that I'm using so that you can create rhythm. So this would apply to basically any rhythmically driven song. All right, so now I started off with this. Now this particular song, Great Name, it starts off with a G minor chord. Okay, now the way that I'm playing it, I'm actually playing F, G, and B flat with my left hand, and then with my right hand I'm playing D and B flat. Okay, so I started with a little melody line, D, G, A, and then went into the first chord. Okay, then the second chord is simply a B flat major chord with an added 2 in there or an added ninth. And my left hand is playing D, F, B flat. And then my right hand I'm playing C and F. Okay? First chord. And then we go here. All right, this is actually C minor 11. I actually have an 11th here down with my left hand actually. But the voicing is F, G, B flat with my left hand, and my right hand is G, B flat, and E flat. And then I'm playing C with my foot pedal. And then the chord stays the same, or it can stay the same, and you change your bass note to E flat major. Okay, the E flat, should I say. Okay, so my foot pedal's on E flat now, and the left hand is F, G, B flat, right hand is G, B flat, E flat. So that's the first part of the song. Okay, I'll do that again. Okay, so now at this particular portion of the song, it's not very rhythmic, so you don't have to push it that hard, okay? But I am trying to be very exact with where my beats and things are falling. The feel with the movie is real strong, and I'm trying to be very particular about where my beats are falling, or the rhythm of how I'm hitting the notes. So I'm trying to hit right on that downbeat. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep the same voicings. Okay, so it does that a while, and then when it goes to this part right here, this is where you really can use the techniques that I want to show you. Okay? Okay, now, say for example, I was playing with an entire band, a bass player, drummer, lead guitar player, piano player. I would approach the organ completely different, a completely different way. And so when I get to that section, I will possibly do this. Okay, so now if I had a band, I possibly would approach it like that. But if I don't, and I am the band, I would do more like this, like what I just did. So that way, you can feel the beat. You can feel the groove of the song. That's what you want. So say, for example, I'm in rehearsal with the singers, and they're singing. Okay, so they need to feel the groove of the song. So I'm trying to give them that. trying to put a little color in there too, make it interesting. Okay, so now specifically, what am I doing? Now, the majority of the feel of what I'm doing is coming from my foot pedals and my left hand. Okay, now what I'm trying to do is emulate different aspects of what the musicians would be doing within the band. In particular, the drummer and the bass player. Okay, now think about what would the drummer be playing in a song like this. Okay, I think in order to really get a hold of this, to be able to do it, you have to think, okay, now what would the drummer do? How would a drummer play in playing this song? You know, and just kind of think in your mind how you would do it. So it would possibly sound like boom, bop, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom. Okay, so that's kind of like how the drummer would approach it. So what can I do as the organist that would give that same kind of feel? Okay, now that's where I'm actually coming up with the way that I'm playing it. Okay, check it out what I'm doing with my left hand. Okay, so I'm trying to give you that same type of feeling. Now, it's a combination between my left hand and my foot together. Okay, now with my foot, I'm trying to give you the feeling of what in a sense, the foot pedal on the kick drum would do for the drummer, the kick drum. So the kick drum would possibly be doing something like boom, 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 boom. Okay, and so I could try to do that to give you that feeling, that four on the floor type of feeling with my left hand and my foot together. So let's try that again, and let's see if I'm actually accomplishing that. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, all right. So now let's isolate it. Now, if I was only playing with my left hand by itself, it would sound like this. Okay, and then one other thing I want to point out, I'm playing a lot of octaves. Now, what is that coming from? Where is that coming from? I'm trying to emulate what a bass player would possibly do, where many times a bass player would do what's called thumping and popping. Okay, where the bass player would say boom, bank, boom, bank, that type of thing, and I'm playing that note there as the thump, and then an octave above as the pop. So boom, bank, like that, to try to give you that same kind of feel. Okay, so the notes are E flat to B flat, F to G, then again E flat to B flat, F to G. Okay, so that's all it is, but I'm trying to give you the feeling of what an actual real bass player would do. And one other thing that I'm doing is I'm actually including what you would call ghost notes. Now, a ghost note is a small little note that the purpose of the note is not for the note itself, but for the rhythm that that note creates. Okay, so for example, without the ghost notes, it would sound like this. Okay, with the ghost notes, it would sound like this. Ba-boom, bop, ba-boom, bop. Okay, I'm throwing in that little note in between the main notes. Okay, so say for example, my main notes are E flat. Okay, a ghost note could possibly be the B flat that I hit before the E flat. Ba-doom, ba-doom. My main note is the E flat, boom, but I'm playing ba-doom. That's the ghost note. Okay, okay, and it's really not even about hitting a particular note. I can really potentially hit almost anything. And I'm doing it so fast, it would almost not even matter. Now you want to pick a note that would be within the key, but it's not about the actual note. It's about the feeling. It's about the groove that ghost note is helping you to create. Okay, so I'm incorporating ghost notes with my left hand. I'm incorporating those octaves to give you the feeling of popping and thumping on the actual bass, and then I'm actually keeping the groove going with my foot pedal with a 4 on the floor type of feel. And then when I put all of that together just with my foot and my left hand, I get this type of feeling. Now with my foot, if I isolate that to let you hear that, this is what the foot sounds like. Okay, so it doesn't really sound all that spectacular by itself, but when I put it with the left hand, it sounds a little bit better. Okay, so I'm doing that. That's just with my left hand and my foot pedal. And then I incorporate more of the chords with my right hand. Okay, now I'm still thinking rhythmically, and in my mind, I'm thinking my right hand could be playing more things like what maybe the drummer would be doing, possibly on the snare drum, or different accents. Different little accents with my right hand to add in with what I'm doing with my left hand and my foot pedal. Okay, so let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so now, I'm incorporating that right hand, and basically I'm playing the chords of the song. But it's a very rhythmic way of doing it. Now, again, if I was only playing it by myself, I would approach it like this. But if I was playing with a band, that same area or a portion of the song, I would probably approach it like this. Okay, so that's a whole completely different way of approaching the song. But if you have a bass player and a drummer and a piano player and an auxiliary keyboard player and a percussionist and you have all of these different things going on, you don't want to be doing. You'll be stepping all on everybody. So it's a time to do this, and it's a time to simplify it as well. But this is a very good way to create the feel, the groove, the vibe of a song when you're playing by yourself. Okay, so hopefully these are some things that you can incorporate into your playing. Again, it's not about this particular song, but you really can take these same principles and apply them to any song that's rhythmically driven. And I'll throw this in there now. Where does all this come from? This is really an old concept. This is nothing new. People have been doing this for decades, probably longer than that. I studied jazz a little bit years ago, and one thing that I studied was stride piano or ragtime piano, and that is this style of playing. That type of playing, boom, 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 that type of playing where you would hear those old upright pianos and those guys playing real quick with their left hand, boom, bop, boom, bop. That's the same type of concept, is where you're creating rhythm, but at the same time you're still playing bass notes, you're still playing chords, you're still playing melodies, you're still playing the the melodic part of the song. You're still playing the chords, but you're also creating rhythm or the feel or the groove of the song with how you're doing it, in particular with your left hand, and when you're on the when you're on the organ, your left hand and your foot pedal. Okay. All right. So that's one thing that I do to try to create rhythm on the organ. I hope you enjoyed that brief lesson, and hope it's something that you also can incorporate. If you enjoyed it, you really did, I want you to go to hollinsmusic.com, where we have many more free lessons. We have several products on Hollins Music in our store area. And then you also can check out mykeyboardconnection.com. This is a subscription-based website that I have where I upload different videos teaching all kinds of things. I have content on My Keyboard Connection up literally from 10 years ago all the way up until now. And so you can subscribe for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or even up to a year, which is actually the best value. Very, very cost-effective way to get years worth of content on different subjects on the organ as well as the piano. Okay, so again, thank you for taking this time and viewing this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were blessed by it. And remember, HMPI, we're serving gospel musicians all over the world.